Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to F1 Total in Season 12 of Division 1. We are into round 6, completing the first half of the season, and we are here in China, in Shanghai. Not a track we usually... Hold on, I'll just turn down the volume a little bit. Alright, so as I said, Shanghai, it's not a track we're used to see, mainly because it's not on the real-life F1 calendar anymore, and you don't see it in league racing very often. Last time we raced in China, I think, was in season 10, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, as you can see, the attendance is not looking great tonight. We are only 10 drivers, and yeah, there is a lot of potential for the standings to mix up, although the championship contenders are not missing the race, which is what we love to see. Now, I don't know if you can see it on stream, but it's actually raining already. Qualifying hasn't even started, but we can already see some raindrops. So interesting. Maybe the drivers will have time only to do one qualifying lap if the rain gets worse. But anyway, Felix, one of the championship contenders, will be the first one to start the lap. We'll stay on board with him. It's gonna be interesting to see what kind of lap times we are aiming for. I don't know what to expect. I haven't driven China in quite a long time. Now Felix approaching the very long section of the first corners. I don't think it's only one turn on the official map, but it's pretty much one long corner. Now approaching the end of sector 1, we are 24.3. And now sector 2, into these very long corners. I don't know if they are flat. It looks like they are. Okay, no, this one is not, I was wrong, but the first one was flat. But the grip, it doesn't look like it's getting tricky. Like, I think the driver can handle it quite well. And I'm also commentating alone tonight, since the attendance was so low that Sully actually decided to race as a reserve tonight, so we'll see his driving skills. We already know the commentary skills, but we'll see the driving as well. We've seen him in Division 2, but we'll see how he holds up in Division 1. Now Felix finishing the very long back straight, and now just before the last corner, the time it's gonna be definitely in the 30s. First time of the session will be 33.358. There is a Haas behind him, and it's Sully that is gonna finish in 33.5. In P2 33.2. There's another Aston Martin Kart Racer in 33.0. So not on provisional pole. Jeremy is on the top of the standings for now. There is a Red Bull approaching the end of the straight, and it's Paco, followed by the Mercedes of Nemesis. So now Paco onto the last corner, and he goes very off the track, and yeah, the lap gets invalidated. What about Nemesis? He goes on provisional pole, 32.8, just 8 thousandths faster than Jeremy. And I'm not quite sure if the drivers will be able to improve that times, because we have no idea how the grip will change with this very light rain. I don't even know if it's gonna get worse. There is an Alpine of Kevin, followed by the Williams of Pinky. No, Pinky has invalidated. So Kevin approaching the finish line. It's 34.3 is into P7. Okay, so Felix approaching the pit lane right now. I asked the weather report in chat, but similarly no one has answered. Well, everyone is on track, so they just go back into the pits right now. Now we almost see Felix taking quite a risky line through the pit lane, which actually decided a championship back in 2007. Hamilton lost the championship pretty much in that race in China just by misjudging the corner entry on the pit lane, being stuck on gravel, and that's what cost him the championship in his rookie season. Okay, so Felix has answered the weather report and it's gonna be dry. So driest without time right now, we have Pinky, Phantom and Paco, Paco doing his thing pretty much. We'll stay on board with Pinky approaching the very long straight. I have no idea how many kilometers is it. I want to see the top speed the car will reach, because I think the downforce will be like medium high. Anyway, top speed for Pinky was 336 kilometers per hour. Quite sliding through the last corners, taking out of curb, and also the rain not helping with the traction. Now onto the RS, Pinky will finish his first lap with a 36.8, so I think he might have done a mistake earlier in the lap. And I'm not sure if he's gonna retry that now since he's low on the RS. So we got Phantom. And I'm not sure, okay, Phantom is on low fuel. Anyway, I'm not sure, but it looks like the rain is slightly getting worse. Felix is retiring. Okay, so Felix has retired from qualifying. Maybe he thinks this is his best lap, or maybe looking at the weather report, the rain is gonna get worse and there's just no point in trying and do another lap. And if that's the case, the qualifying grid might as well just be the one we're seeing right here. And well, that was quick. And yeah, the other drivers are staying in the pits, they're not coming up, so maybe the rain is indeed getting worse and the lap times will not improve. Yeah, Paco is retiring as well. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna be that way. Which is quite anticlimactic. It would be a pole for Nemesis. Yeah, Nemesis just confirmed the rain is getting worse. So yeah, no point in getting out and doing another lap. So there we go. After 5 minutes barely, this is your qualifying grid, and Nemesis gets pole position. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that was awkward to commentate. So yeah, indeed. Nemesis will start in pole position with only 8,000 from Jeremy and Catracer. Then Jonathan, Felix, Sully, Kevin, Pinky, and then Phantom and Paco with no time starting in 9th and 10th. Which, I mean, is not a tragedy because you're literally guaranteed to have points no matter what you do in this race. So as Pinky is approaching his pit box, and Kevin is going out. Is Kevin actually trying another lap? He is. Okay, I guess. I don't know. Maybe he thinks that his lap was quite bad, and he thinks he can improve that. But rain is slightly worse than it was before. It's not even accelerating. I think he's on AI right now. Okay, can be retired. So there we go. Yeah, this is indeed the qualifying grid. Nemesis, which in the standings is in P3, will start from pole position, with Jeremy and Catracer following right behind. Now after the last race in Brazil, Catracer extended the gap from Felix, and Catracer is leading with 17 points from Felix, and Nemesis in P3. Felix with 79, Nemesis with 58, and Jeremy in P4 with 40. But the constructors is very, very close. Mercedes is leading by only 1 point on Aston Martin. So yeah, the Constructors' Championship contenders are pretty much they could have been top 4, but Jonathan actually outqualified Felix in the first and only lap they could do. But yeah, it's essentially going to be a race to see how the championship situation is going to evolve between the leaders, and it's also great news for teams in the midfield. McLaren and Red Bull are only 7 points apart in the midfield. So I guess we're just waiting for Pinky to retire, otherwise we're gonna have to wait 6 minutes. Wait, he's coming out? What? He's actually coming out. He's on Inters. Mate! Mate, you're on Inters. The rain is worse. You can't improve the lap. You cannot do better than a lap that you did with the softs. He's just Tokyo drifting across the track. I mean, I guess he wants to have some fun or something, but we're just losing time. Pinky, please retire. I don't want to waste 6 minutes commentating about nothing. Yeah, everyone's complaining in the Discord chat. Well, I'm not gonna say anything. That's pretty much. There's literally nothing to say. We're just watching Pinky doing his thing, I guess. Making everyone lose 5 minutes of the time. Yeah, the RS is disabled. Like, Pinky, what are you playing at? I'll turn down the volume a little bit more. There we go, finally in the pits. Yeah, so Pinky just made everyone lose 3 minutes of their time. I mean, they're already bothering to participate in a race with only 10 people. Now losing even more time is even more annoying. We're just waiting for him to retire. I don't want to wait any more 4 minutes. We've decided the grid. Nemesis is on pole. There we go. So yeah, after quite a time loss, qualifying is over, and yeah, I'm sorry, I can't find the excitement anymore to commentate. We'll find it back in the race, even if it's 10 people. We'll just watch the championship contenders having a fight to gain as many points as possible as they approach to complete the first half of the season. Now we have the loading screen. I was checking the audio, okay. Bro, is it just me with the black screen? Oh, okay. So yeah, we're finally in the race. I have no idea what the strategies are. I haven't touched China since F1 22. And pretty much everyone is saying the same in the chat. They don't know. They are very unsure about the setups, about the strategies and stuff. About the fuel as well. So yeah, I mean, it might just be funny to to watch everyone trying to survive in the race with very low knowledge, I guess. I mean, I'm hoping it will be funny. Well, actually, the last time I commented a race with only 10 people was in Jeddah last season, and it was a race with very, very good and exciting racing. So pretty much, I just want a race that's either exciting for the racing and the battles, or just funny with crashes and spins. Anyway, we're waiting, and we'll see how the race goes tonight. We'll see how the Aston Martins are going to attack Nemesis into turn 1, because you can take some different lines. You can take different lines on the first lap on the very long corner. You could try on the outside, that becomes inside a little later on, but anyway, the race is starting. The 5 red lights are on, and it's lights out, and away we go for the Chinese Grand Prix with only 10 drivers, and Nemesis got a pretty good start. Car Chaser right now is following his teammate with Jonathan right behind him, and they in contact. There's cutter made into the first corner. Jonathan with a bit of lag teleporting there, and Phantom has left the session already. But it looks like there aren't any incidents in the first sets of corners. Sully with quite a move there. I don't know what happened, but almost 3 wide into the corner. Okay, now it's 2 wide. Oh, and Jonathan is hitting quite some cars on the first lap. But anyway, Felix in the meanwhile has recovered to P4, so the championship contenders are right behind each other with the midfield following. And Jonathan and Pinky, they are extremely close, they're scary close. And Jonathan is on the softs while Pinky is on the hards, so Jonathan is using the soft tire compound as much as possible. In the meanwhile, I'll invite Phantom since he disconnected. I'll try to do it as quickly as possible. Alright, there we go. Okay, so we are into the back straight right now. Let me enable the tire detail. Okay, so Jonathan is the only one on softs, while the rest of the grid is very balanced between medium and hards. And yeah, both Mercedes and Aston Martin are alternating the strategies with the drivers. Car Chaser and Felix being on hards, Jeremy and Nemesis being on the mediums. Phantom in the meanwhile unluckily dropped to 4 seconds and a half. But I saw him joining back. I'm hoping he recovers it as quickly as possible, although that's unfortunate. So let's watch Kevin right now. Okay, we're actually seeing some moves. Sully trying the inside on Pinky, but doesn't quite complete it yet. Now he's following onto this very long and flat out. Oh, the almost contact during the right-hander. Luckily, they kept it out of each other. Luckily, we didn't see any front wing pieces flying or car spinning. But Sully is staying very close to Pinky. Like, this is some esports level gap. The RS isn't enabled yet, but we'll see if he's gonna use the energy in back straight. He's actually, no, he's not using. What about Pinky? Not using it either, but now Sully, and they're going almost 3 wide. Yeah, they're effectively 3 wide onto the back straight. Who's gonna have the better run? And it looks like Paco is ahead of both cars with a bit of it lockup. Pinky going very wide and very deep actually, but Paco completing a double overtake actually at the end of the straight. Oh, and going very off the track. But the car is still driving. It's not in the wall. And now Sully almost attempting a move into the first corner with a little bit of a switchback. Although switchbacks are pretty much natural with the first corner. There is also Jonathan quite recovering time on Felix, obviously being on the soft compound. What about the leaders? What about Jeremy chasing Nemesis? And Nemesis, he's holding off pretty good. The minion compounds, he's showing the difference in pace, and he's showing it very well. But Jeremy is not giving up. He's staying behind Nemesis, but we don't know when he's gonna attempt a move. What about the midfield? What about Jonathan and Felix? Okay, so Jonathan has caught up to the Mercedes. Is he gonna use energy? No, he's not. Okay, now he is. Onto the DRS, and Jonathan gets past the Mercedes. But is Felix gonna attempt anything else at the end of the straight? He's not, he's staying behind. And he will have DRS onto the main straight before the first corner. Paco chasing Sully. Paco staying very close. There is some moves on the front. Okay, Jeremy and Nemesis going side by side through the first corner. Who's gonna have the better run on the exit? And they're very close to each other. They almost contact, but it looks like Jeremy can't see anything. It looks like, yeah, Jeremy has completed the pass on Nemesis, and K-Tracer also recovered a little bit of time there with the move. But is Nemesis gonna attempt something? No, he's not. But K-Tracer is staying very close. So Nemesis being sandwiched by the two Aston Martins, and Felix being 3 seconds and a half behind, with Jonathan in the Ferrari overtaking him with the soft compound. Now K-Tracer has the slower compound for now. Maybe it's gonna be around 3 or 4 laps more before the hards. There's Sully, there's yellow flag. I think Sully spun. Okay, maybe he didn't quite spun. I think he might have had a moment of oversteer. Maybe counter-steering, fighting the rear end, and he costed him some positions. So he's down to P9 right now, and that's good news for Phantom recovering time there. Now Felix and Jonathan fighting again at the end of the straight. Oh, Felix going very wide. What happened? Okay, so he went deep. I think he might have locked up the brakes. He might have locked the front tires at the end of the straight and causing him to go deep. But Nemesis is again attempting a move on Jeremy on the inside line, side by side again through the first corner. But Jeremy stays ahead. But Nemesis is on the outside. He's not giving up, and K-Tracer is recovering a lot of time with this battling. So he's loving it very much. Felix is trying to recover to Jonathan as much as possible. Although we're into lap 5, I think we're getting close to the tire wear, to the tire window for the soft compound. But right now the podium seaters are staying extremely close to each other. So right now, as it stands, Nemesis and Jeremy are fighting for the win. But let's not forget about K-Tracer, because his tires are going to be faster later on. And we're also going to see how that situation evolves when it's going to be the opposite, when Jeremy and Nemesis have the hard compound and K-Tracer will be on the medium. So I think the podium will be this one as it stands. We don't know in which order, but oh, Nemesis attempting a move on the inside at the end of the back straight, so he's now leading the race again. But there is K-Tracer still recovering time. Let's watch the onboard of Jeremy, because he's gonna have DRS right now on the straight, and we'll see. Maybe we'll see even more moves onto turn 1. It looks like it's not the moment quite yet, although Jeremy is staying 2 tenths behind Nemesis gearbox. In the meanwhile, also the midfield is staying very close to each other. Paco attempting a move on the inside on Felix, and it now stays on the outside, and Felix not giving up, still staying behind Jonathan. Jonathan tried to avoid the cars behind as much as possible, but Paco is staying very close. Is he gonna send it down the inside? Yes, he is! He's attempting a move on Felix, and he pulls it off for now, but Felix is not giving up. They're gonna be side by side through the very long left-hander onto the right-hander, into the braking zone, and now another braking onto the left. As we look at this very beautiful sky view, Paco's front wing is staying very close to Felix's rear wing. Now another big braking zone onto this this left 90-degree corner, and now a very long right-hander. And now onto the straight. Is Paco gonna recover the positions with the DRS? Is Jonathan gonna escape even more? But we'll see in just a moment. Paco recovering time, but not quite yet for the move. In the meanwhile, there is also some movement between Sully and Pinky. But Pinky stays ahead. I think he was P8 even before I saw the position change. And in the meanwhile, Phantom is also recovering. Okay, so movement between Jonathan and Felix. Felix actually overtaking Jonathan on the inside line of the first corner, but Jonathan is still staying very close to the car. And stays on the inside with better traction on the exit, and he actually recovers the position. So Felix is actually having a hard time. It's a wonderful race for Jonathan for now, but Felix stays on the inside. A little bit of smoke, but I don't think there was some lockups. So Jonathan retaking P4. Okay, so this battle for P4 is actually, I think I see some piece of front wing flying. I don't know. I saw something in the back. I'm not quite sure. And I can see the front wing. Felix, it looks like it's intact, and Paco too. I don't know. I just saw something flying on the back. But anyway, Jonathan holding on to dear life for this P4, but we're into lap 7, and those softs are probably gonna be slower right now. They're most definitely slower now. Now Paco with the DRS, and so is Felix as he takes the move on Jonathan, and Paco overtaking Jonathan as well on the inside. Jonathan getting double overtaken, but Paco is not quite ahead. Now he is, and Jonathan is in P6, but we see how this wonderful fight continues with the DRS once again on the main straight. And Paco now attempting to move on Felix, and it looks like he's pulling it off. Okay, so Paco is in P4, but there are still Felix and Jonathan. Jonathan almost running into the back of Felix, and so is Felix almost in the back of Paco. They are staying very close. There are the gaps are just so small to see, and it's very wonderful racing I'm seeing here. So I'm quite glad that the grid is staying close. I mean, not the entire grid. The top 3 are fighting for the podium, then the P4, 5 and 6 are fighting for the midfield, and then the bottom guys, which are still fighting, apart from Kevin is on his own, but P8, 9 and 10 are still fighting for points, which is lovely to see. Jonathan staying, I'm repeating extremely close way too many times, because Jonathan just keeps tailgating Felix. So the pace is looking very strong for all of these 3 drivers. Now once again onto the back straight, and Jonathan with a little bit of a slide during the right-hander before the straight. And Paco actually attempting to break the toe there. He doesn't want to give even more slips into Felix, which is recovering quite a lot, but not quite enough for the move, or maybe he is. Yeah, Felix is attempting on the inside, but doesn't quite pull it off, but it was very close. And now we'll see once again overtakes on the main straight. It looks like the front of the pack has come down a little bit with the overtakes, but the midfield is staying very competitive with this fight. Lovely to see. And now Jonathan still following Felix and Paco, but we'll go to the back of the grid right now, because Phantom has actually made a move on Pinky. Pinky almost going off the track, and Sully on the inside, and there was a little bit of contact, and Pinky has dropped down now to P10. But I don't think that's gonna get reported with just a minor collision. But Pinky will attempt on the inside. Yes, he does, and they bump wheels once again. Sully stays ahead for now, but Pinky is gonna have to follow during this very long left-hander. we into lap 9 we might see the hard tire becoming faster than the medium disconnected. So anyway, once again on the straight with the DRS, and then the thing is, DRS isn't even extremely powerful on this DRS because it starts halfway through the straight, maybe a little bit before, but still it's not at the very beginning. Sully with quite a slider, but he kept the car on track. And now, starting lap 10. The front is pretty much how we left it in qualifying, is exactly like we left it in qualifying. Jonathan, I think he's starting to struggle with grip. The gap between him and Felix are getting bigger. But I have no idea if Jonathan is gonna do a two-stopper or a one-stopper. I don't know what compound he will put. I don't know what lap he will come into the pits. And same goes for any other driver. Although I'm guessing like 13, 14, pretty much halfway through the laps. But yeah, it looks like the fighting has stopped for now and the situation is a little bit calmer. What about Jeremy? He's using the DRS, but he's not quite recovering time to Nemesis. It might even be the difference in wings, I guess, in the setup. Jeremy going off the track. I don't know if that's gonna be a track limit warning. Okay, but Jeremy now is actually recovering more than he was doing before to Nemesis. And staying very close through the first set of corners. Now tractioning out of turn 3, I believe. Phantom is pitted, so we have the first pit stop of the session. We'll stay on board with Jeremy following the race leader, but we'll see on the details what compound will Phantom put. And yeah, okay, so Phantom is on the hard tires. So yeah, it's gonna go for 18 laps more with the hard compound. Now Jeremy is I mean, I'm not quite sure about that, but it looks like Jeremy is losing time in slow corners. It looks like Nemesis has a little bit more traction out of low speed corners. And Jeremy having a little bit more speed in the high speed corners where you just are flat out or lifting or slightly braking. So maybe because Nemesis, I don't know, but there will definitely be some quite big difference in wings level in the setup. Now the leaders aren't pitting yet. Phantom is the only one who has come in to change tires. What about the midfield? What about Paco? What's he gonna do? He stays out. Same goes for Felix, and not the same for Jonathan. The softs are too worn out to continue on them. We're gonna see what compound he will put right now. Same goes for Kevin. He's actually pitting behind Jonathan, so he's doing the same strategy to continue the fight. Even Sully is pitting while Pinky is staying out. Okay, so Jonathan is on the hard compound. Kevin will go from medium to hard, and Sully, I'm thinking the same, possibly from mediums to hard. And yeah, there we go. So hard compounds for Jonathan, Kevin, Sully, and Phantom, having put them a lap before. Phantom actually overtaking Sully while Sully was exiting out of the pit lane. So right now the midfield fight that involved Jonathan before is now between Felix and Paco, although Felix is 8 tenths behind Paco, so he's gonna have to trying to find more pace and more grip to recover that time lost. We'll go back to give me the screen time to the leaders, because Jeremy is not attempting a move. He's getting close and he's staying close, but not enough to attempt an overtake. So maybe we'll see. Oh, actually, yeah, Jeremy is pitting right now. Okay, so I think he understood that he was losing a little bit of time, and maybe he's gonna try the undercut on Nemesis, and I'm guessing Kart Racer will pit. Okay, maybe not on the next lap. Maybe a few laps later, because he started on the hards. Anyway, Jeremy going from mediums to hards as expected. So right now the only drivers without stops are half the grid. So Pinky, Felix, Paco, Kart Racer and Nemesis, they are yet to pit. Although Nemesis, I'm not quite sure in terms of pure pace, but in terms of tire wear, he's definitely the slower driver right now. With 12 laps, the mediums are definitely slower than the used hards with the same tire age. So Kart Racer is staying behind Nemesis, but I don't think he will pit in the same lap as Nemesis. So maybe he can do an overcut by pitting later, since he has the hards right now. But even if the overcut doesn't happen, he still wants to lose as little time as possible to continue fighting. Oh, Kart Racer going a little bit deeper, almost running into the back of Nemesis. I'm not sure if he locked up the fronts, but it was close. I think Nemesis is pitting. Yeah. Nemesis is into the pits, and so I think we can say that for now the whole grid is gonna be on the hard compounds, and yes, indeed. Hard tires for Nemesis, but we are waiting for Kart Racer, Paco, Felix and Pinky to come into the pits to use the mediums and see if they're gonna be faster in the later stint and recovery time. Jeremy overtaking Nemesis while the Mercedes was coming out of the pit lane, but they are staying not too far. 5 times is not an enormous gap. Nemesis, I think he might have had a little slide on the exit of the corners of turn 3, I guess. I don't know. I'm not even looking at the map of the circuit right now. Felix is barely staying into the DRS of Paco, so he's struggling with the pace. So I'm not too sure about the podium positions right now, because in the first stint it looked like Kart Racer and Jeremy and Nemesis in no particular order were gonna occupy the podium spots. But now with the strategy changes, I'm not quite sure, but we'll see in a few minutes. Paco is pitting, Felix is not, so we'll finally see the first driver going from the hards to the mediums. So Paco attempting an overcut on pretty much everyone, so he's putting the mediums right now to be faster than all of the other drivers. Maybe attempting a fast lap. Who has the fastest lap right now? Okay, I'm not seeing here. Jeremy has the fastest lap, very close to Nemesis' best, and also Kart Racer. So Paco has dropped down to P7, but he will recover it quite quickly. I think it's very safe to say this. Nemesis staying close to Jeremy. They both have pitted, so this is indeed a fighting for the lead, like it was in the first stint, because Kart Racer and Felix are yet to pit. So yeah, effectively Jeremy is leading the race with Nemesis following right behind him, having hard tires just 1 lap younger than Jeremy's. We're gonna see if he attempts anything on the back straight. He's using ERS, okay, not anymore, but he has the ERS right now, taking as much slipstream as possible, and he makes the move on Jeremy on the outside. No lockup, that's good to see, but they are still side by side through the last set of corners. Jeremy stays ahead for now, but we have another DRS zone. Felix is coming to the pits meanwhile. The same goes for Kartracer and Nemesis with a very big difference in speed, doing the move on Jeremy. They are not side by side through the first corner, but Jeremy is gonna recover that time very soon. In the meanwhile, Pinky has pit as well, and I think we are done with every pit stop on the grid. Sully gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits, and yeah, that's gonna be quite a weight to carry onto the race. I mean, especially at a track where it's not exactly easy to get track limits. I mean, I don't want to shame Sully or anything, but just unfortunate he got that penalty. I mean, he's getting points anyway because we're 10 drivers, but just the difference between fighting for 1 point or 2 points or 4 points. I mean, he's reserving, but it's still the spirit of racing. Jeremy actually, okay, never mind. I thought Jeremy was outside of the DRS, but no, he still has it. But the gap is getting bigger. A little bit of a lockup there, but we also need to watch out in long term for Kartracer and Paco. Nemesis gets the fast lap of the race with a 33.6. on the hard compounds, surprisingly. Maybe we'll see if the medium rounds, yeah, there we go. Paco with the mediums sets at 33.0, setting the new fast lap of the session. 1 additional point for Red Bull as it stands right now. And including this lap, we have 12 laps more to the race. And Jeremy is struggling a little bit with the fight for the race win. He is out of the DRS. He lost about 4 tenths in the last lap. So it looks like the closest gap we can watch is between Phantom and Kevin. Kevin tractioning at the outside the first corner. Outside the first corner of Sector 2 and chasing Phantom through these 2 very long left and right handers, followed by this braking zone to the left. Now a very short straight that ends in a 90-degree left corner. Now a very long right hander, 270 degrees pretty much. With a little bit of banking. Kevin, we can see on the steering wheel, he's using a lot of ERS to stay behind Phantom. He's using the ERS right now, I can't see anything, but he's attempting a move on Phantom on the inside at the end of the straight, and it looks like he pulls it off, taking a lot of curb on the inside, and Phantom staying on the inside, but maybe he will attempt a switchback on the last corner. But not quite. But now the McLaren driver has the DRS, and we're gonna see him with a very big difference of speed regaining the position through the first corner. But Kevin is not giving up for now. He's still staying close. But yeah, we can hear the traction control sounds from the engine, which is limiting Kevin a lot out of slow corners, but that doesn't make him a slow driver at all. It's just the disadvantage of having traction control against a driver who has no traction control out of low speed corners. And yeah, but Kevin is actually the only driver to be in the DRS zone right now. I mean, that's a shame because the first laps of the race were very exciting with the fight in the midfield and the podium positions also getting a little bit mixed up. But now, yeah, I'm afraid it's gonna be the only one right now able to fight for a position higher than he is right now. DRS again on the straight, but not quite to recover. Time to attempt to move on Phantom. Although we are seeing Felix, yeah, Felix, okay, Felix has DRS on Jonathan, and I'm not quite sure who has the fastest compound, but it looks like Felix is faster for now. So attempting to regain that P5 from the Ferrari, which is obviously going to be crucial for the constructors. If Felix gets P5, Mercedes will have. Wait, let me see the fastest lap as well. Where is it? There we go. Okay, the fastest lap is for the Red Bull. So if Felix gets P5, Mercedes will have 35 points, and Aston Martin will get 33, so Mercedes will gain 2 points on Aston Martin, which is gonna oh, there actually is almost between Cat Racer and Jeremy. I think I missed that. Yeah, Cat Racer has actually overtook his teammate Jeremy and is now in P2 fighting for the lead. So while I was distracted talking about the championship situation, in the meanwhile Felix and Jonathan swapping positions, with Felix getting the P5 right now, but Jonathan will fight right back on with the DRS. But anyway, while I was distracted describing the championship situation, the Aston Martin drivers have swapped positions. I can't talk today, I'm very sorry. Anyway, Cat Racer overtook his teammate and is now fighting for the lead. I'm not sure if the mediums are gonna be faster, but it definitely has a shot right now to win the race. Although Cat Racer has many race wins to his name, and Nemesis is gonna attempt his hardest to improve his number of wins. But Cat Racer is not an easy driver to get away from, and it looks like he's indeed gaining time, using quite a lot of energy to recover the gap, which is 1.6 seconds for now. Same goes for Nemesis, he's using energy as well. But anyway, Nemesis is leading for now, but Cat Racer is showing himself as a very big threat for the leading position, and we have 8 laps left into the race. We have 8 laps to see if the race lead is gonna go to Cat Racer's hands or to Nemesis' hands. And Cat Racer is recovering quite a lot. The gap is only to 1.1 seconds, so it's only the end of sector 2 and the first corner of sector 3 for the gap to be below 1 second. It already is right now 9 tenths, and yeah, we're very likely gonna see Cat Racer attempting a move with the DRS on Nemesis. Maybe not on this lap, but it is crucial right now that he got back into the DRS zone. So yeah, I'm prepared to see a fight for the lead. I don't want to see some clear domination either from Nemesis or either from Cat Racer. I want to see the two drivers battling for those infamous 25 points, because I want to see I want to have the excitement I had in the first laps. Kart Racer is staying very close right now, only 6 tenths. In the meanwhile, Kevin has made a move on Phantom to get that P7, but Phantom will have the DRS onto the back straight. Taking as much slipstream as he can, Kevin using a lot of energy, and Phantom with the DRS making a move. So Phantom getting P7 back, but will go back to the front because the Kart Racer is getting closer than ever to Nemesis. 7 laps left. The mediums could be faster. I don't know if they are faster, but anyway. Kart Racer is 7 tenths right now through the long left-hander, and we could very much see the gap getting even smaller when we're gonna go back to the straight. It's crucial for Nemesis to lose as little time as possible. He's doing his best to escape from Kart Racer. He's not giving an easy battle to Kart Racer, that's for sure. But at the moment it's not enough, because Kart Racer is indeed using DRS right now, recovering all of that time to Nemesis. But not for the move yet. He's gonna have to wait. He's gonna have to be patient if he wants the race win, and Nemesis is gonna have to keep a very high level of focus and concentration to fight for that one, to defend that position from Kart Racer, and it's not gonna be easy for him. Although he is showing great pace both in the race and in qualifying. But it's not easy at all. Kart Racer is definitely someone you don't want to see in your mirrors. So 6 tenths for now. We have 5 laps remaining. I'll go back a little bit to Kevin and Phantom, because they are once again fighting for that P7. And Sully is also following right behind, but he has the 3-second penalties. He will not lose the position to Pinky, but he will lose the position if he overtakes Phantom or Kevin. We'll go back to the front because Kart Racer once again has the DRS right now, opening the rear wing, getting closer, less than 5 tenths, but he's still far. So he's recovering a couple of tenths per lap on Nemesis. So we're gonna see a battle for the lead continuing in the last 5 laps from now. Kart Racer pushing at its absolute best right now, and same goes for Nemesis, because he does not want to see the Aston Martin getting closer than he is right now. It will be crucial for Nemesis to get those 25 points instead of Kart Racer. Right now in the constructors, Mercedes is gaining 2 points I think on Aston Martin, but Nemesis has the chance to recover quite a lot of points on everyone. On his teammate, he's very close to his teammate. In the meanwhile, there is a Ferrari and a Haas that's no, okay, I was wrong. It was Sully, Kevin and Phantom battling, but Sully has the 3-second time penalty, so the battle is still between Kevin and Phantom. Now Kart Racer has again 6 tenths at the end, not at the end, at the beginning of the DRS, and is finishing with, wait, he's doing lift and coast? Is Kart Racer running out of fuel? No, he has a lot of fuel remaining. I don't know, I wasn't looking at the telemetry because it wasn't enabled, but I heard Kartracer not pushing the throttle before braking. So it was accelerating, then lifted, and then brake. But anyway, we have 4 laps right now. But it looks like that Kartracer on every lap is starting the DRS with 6 tenths and finishing on 4 tenths from Nemesis. But it's not improving. The situation is not changing, which is great news for Nemesis. Phantom gets a 3 second time penalty, so that effectively gave the P7 to Kevin, as long as he keeps the car within the track limits. But Phantom and Sully will drop down into P8 and P9. But we're gonna see who drops where in a few minutes. We stay on board with Kartracer because once again he has 6 tenths on the DRS. No, never mind, they are 5 right now. But he's not using energy. He wants to save it for the last laps to go on maximum attack mode. He's gaining. And yeah, with a little bit of lifting before braking, but I think Nemesis might have had a very subtle rear locking there, but I'm not quite sure. But Kartracer has recovered quite significantly right now. He's only 3 tenths apart. He's using the DRS. He might make the move right now on the first corner, but no, he doesn't yet. He stays very close to Nemesis gearbox, taking as much slipstream as possible. He wants to go on attack mode later in the last laps, so he's definitely gonna use Paco is pitting. What? Paco is pitting for the softs. And he's losing position to Felix and Jonathan. Okay, that's even more points for Mercedes, I guess. So the fight for the lead is indeed very lit right now. Nemesis is doing his best. Although I think that with 10 laps for mediums and 12 laps for hards, the mediums theoretically should be slower than the hards. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's just about the pace of the drivers, and they are both showing excellent pace. But Kartracer right now is starting the DRS with only 4 tenths, which is even closer than it was before. We are into lap 26, only 2 laps and a half left, and Kartracer actually does the move on the inside, and Nemesis is into P2, so he's gonna have to fight like crazy to get the position back, and we are approaching lap 27. We have 2 laps to see who's gonna be the race winner in this only 10 car grid. Nemesis with the DRS right now, trying to getting the position back as quickly as possible, and they are side by side. Nemesis on the outside through the first corner, excellent move there, but Kartracer is not giving up. He's on the inside. They are staying very close to each other. They almost contact, but Kartracer, he had better traction, but Nemesis was defending the inside line of the exit at the corner. It's gonna be a very exciting fight for the lead right now. Kartracer only 2 tenths behind Nemesis. So the Mercedes is gonna try to pull off as quickly as possible, because once they go onto the DRS on the back straight, it's very much over for Nemesis. I enabled the telemetry to see the energy usage. Nemesis has half the battery left, and Kartracer has even more though. Nemesis is gonna have to defend and get away as clear. But wait, Kartracer is 1 second. What happened? Kartracer lost some significant tenths to Nemesis. Is he gonna have DRS? I'm not sure, because the gap was 1 second. Okay, never mind. He has DRS, but he lost quite some time, and that's gonna make his job even harder if he wants that race win. It's great news from Nemesis, but now Kartracer will go into full attack mode. I am sure both of them will use all of the energy they have into the battery, and we are approaching the last lap. It's a fight for the race win between Nemesis and Kartracer. It's a crucial situation for the championship standings. Kartracer is recovering with the DRS, but isn't close enough yet. But he actually tries on the inside, and Nemesis leaving the space. Kartracer is leading the race on the inside. He took the leading position, and Nemesis following right behind Kartracer. He's 4/10. And now approaching the end of sector 1, he's too far to attempt a move on the inside. Kartracer right now is on his way to win the race, but Nemesis he's gonna have to push like crazy if he wants that position back. He needs to recover as quickly as possible. He needs to get the race win. It's not only about recovering position and points in the standings, but also a feeling of satisfaction to be happy after the race, feeling that you finally won it. But Nemesis is 8/10, and in the meanwhile, oh, Sully and Phantom crashed out of turn 3 or 4. Yeah, that's gonna be looked at by the stewards later, but Nemesis is too far behind. He cannot recover to Kartracer. He needs to, and only 2 corners right now, and only 1 corner. Kartracer with an excellent fight for the first position. It's gonna be an Aston Martin winning the race. Kartracer is in P1 and Nemesis following in P2, with Jeremy closing the podium in P3. And there we go. After a very stressful fight, it is Kartracer who takes the checkered flag first, and Felix will close the race in P4. Now we have Jonathan closing in P5, and Paco has no fuel. He's completing the race on low fuel mode, but anyway, he's not gonna get overtaken, and also gets the fastest lap. I mean, he got the fastest lap by pitting for softs, but he also lost positions. But anyway, yeah, this is the end of the 10 car grid we had tonight for the Chinese Grand Prix. Paco gets driver of the day, but the game, but well, I'm actually not sure who I will give it to. But it was nice seeing the fight for the lead between Nemesis and Kartracer. It's obviously heartbreaking for Nemesis. I mean, he has won races before, but I mean, I guess he won races before. I don't remember, to be honest. But Kartracer adding even more wins to his name and even more points for himself and for the team in the standings. So it's Kartracer winning the race after recovering all of that gap from Nemesis, and Nemesis the pole sitter in P2, Jeremy in P3 and Felix in P4, Jonathan P5, Paco in P6 with the fastest lap, Kevin in P7 and Pinky in P4, and Phantom and Sully being 9th and 10th after they were involved in an incident that sadly I missed in the stream, but the stewards are gonna have a look at it. So Mercedes is gaining 30 points while Aston Martin has 40 points. So Aston Martin will be ahead of Mercedes by 9 points, which is still very close for the constructors. But yeah, Kartracer's win today is a sign of how he's chasing another championship after last season, and how the gaps are gonna get. It was a decent race to commentate. I enjoyed the fight we had, both in the leading positions and midfield. But yeah, anyway, this has been the Chinese Grand Prix, round 6 of Division 1. As usual, Division 2 will have its own Chinese Grand Prix on Wednesday at 7:30 UK, and then the next round will be in Austria. And I will I will expect you to tune in on the F1 Total channel to see the next Division 2 race in China and a Division 1 race in Austria at the Red Bull Ring. Division 1 as always on Saturdays at 6:30 UK. So thank you for watching tonight's race and we'll see you next week.